So good morning to all friends. Today we have to see the next point of this chapter, that is in chemical bonding. So here the molecular orbital energy level diagram for the heterodiatomic molecule. So in this heterodiatomic molecule, you all know the electronegativity of the each element is not equal or is not same one, and that's why the molecular orbital energy level diagram is not symmetrical one in such a case. So for that, your syllabus only the two molecules are given. These are the carbon monoxide and the nitrogen monoxide one. So for that, let we see the very first example, that is the carbon monoxide. And in this carbon monoxide, you know, there is a carbon and there is a oxygen as an element. So you know the carbon have the 6 atomic number and the oxygen have the 8 atomic number. That means the carbon have 6 electron and the oxygen have the 8 electron. So for that, you can put up its electronic configuration for carbon and oxygen. So carbon have the 1s2 2s2 and 2p2. So oxygen have the its electronic configuration as a 1s2 2s2 2p4 1. So you have the total number of 6 plus 8 electron, means 14 electrons are there, and you have to fill up this 14 electron in the molecular orbital energy level diagram. So you have to fill this 14 electron in this molecular orbital energy level diagram by using this same rule which was used to fill the electron in atomic orbital also. So in this way, you have to see how the electron will get filled in the molecular orbital energy level diagram. So for that, let us share my screen to all of you to fill the electron in molecular orbital energy level diagram. So see the screen, that is from the carbon and from the oxygen one. So carbon have the 1s2 2s2 2p2 is a electronic configuration, and for the oxygen have 1s2 2s2 2p4 is a electronic configuration for in a atomic state one. So you have the total number of the electron as a 6 plus 8, so it will become the 14 one. So 14 is the total number of the electron present in the your carbon monoxide molecule one. So then you have to job that to determine the molecular orbital energy level diagram for the carbon monoxide molecule. So you can see in picture, or you have the image, that is the molecular orbital energy level diagram. So in that molecular orbital energy level diagram, you observe that there are the 1s, 2s, 2p are the molecular atomic orbitals for the oxygen and for carbon also. So in carbon, 1s orbital have the electron, 2s orbital have the 2 electron, and 2p orbital have the 2 electron. And for oxygen, 1s orbital have 2 electron, 2s orbital have 2 electron, and 2p orbital have the 4 electron. So here you combine these two orbitals, these two atomic orbitals. In between them, you observe that when they combine and they form the molecular orbital. So molecular orbital are up to the two types. One is the sigma, one is the your bonding molecular orbital, and another one is the anti-bonding molecular orbital. So sigma 1s is the bonding molecular orbital. Its anti-bonding molecular orbital is a sigma star 1s. Then sigma 2s is the bonding molecular orbital. Sigma star 2s is its anti-bonding molecular orbital. Sigma 2px is the bonding molecular orbital. Pi 2py, pi 2pz, these are also the bonding molecular orbital. And pi star 2py, pi star 2pz, and sigma star 2px, these are the anti-bonding molecular orbital for the carbon monoxide molecule. So you have total number of 14 electron, and that 14 electron you have to fill up in this molecular orbital energy level diagram. So 2 electron goes to the sigma 1s bonding molecular orbital, then 2 electron goes to the sigma star 1s and the antibonding molecular orbital. Again 2 electron goes to the sigma 2s bonding molecular orbital. Again 2 electron goes to the sigma star 2s antibonding molecular orbital. Then 2 electron goes to the sigma 2px bonding molecular orbital, and also the 2 electron goes to the pi 2py bonding molecular orbital, and last 2 electron goes to the pi 2pz bonding molecular orbital. Okay, now the pi star 2py and pi star 2pz and sigma star 2px, these are the empty antibonding molecular orbital. So this is the filling of the electron in the molecular orbital uh, diagram. So next is that you have to determine the bond order. So how it will be determined? So bond order is equal to, you know, the formula. So what is that formula? That is count the total number of bonding electron minus total number of antibonding electron. Okay. So count the total number of bonding electron. So bonding electron is from the sigma 1s orbital, sigma 2s orbital, sigma 2px orbital, pi 2py orbital, and the pi 2pz orbital. So these are the bonding molecular orbital. So when you count this electron present in this bonding molecular orbital, you will get the value as the 10. So 10 is the value for the bonding bonding electron present in this molecular orbital. So again, you have to count the antibonding electrons. So antibonding molecular orbital are here. The sigma star 1s have the 2 electron, sigma star 2s have the 2 electron. So do you have the total number of 4 electron present in antibonding molecular orbital? So you have to take the subtraction of bonding molecular orbital electron and the antibonding molecular orbital electron. So you have the 10 as the bonding molecular orbital electron and 4 is the antibonding molecular orbital electron 1. So you have to take the 10 minus 4. So you will get the 6 divided by the 2. So 6 by 2 is equal to the 3. So you have the bond order is the 3. So in carbon monoxide molecule, there are the 3 bonds are present and no unpaired electron present in this valence shell orbital, and therefore this carbon monoxide molecule is the diamagnetic in nature. So all these 3 information you will get from this molecular orbital energy level diagram. That is the this carbon monoxide molecule is exist in nature, and it exists and have the 3 bond order, means it have the 3 bond present in the carbon and the oxygen. Also, the when you see the valence shell orbital, in that valence shell orbital, you observe that all electrons are in pair form, and so that the your carbon monoxide molecule is the diamagnetic in nature. It is the diamagnetic in nature because the all electron are in a pair form, and so it is the diamagnetic. So in this way, you can explain the carbon monoxide molecule with the help of this molecular orbital energy level diagram. Next example we have to discuss here, that is the nitric oxide. Nitric oxide. 1 minute. Okay. So this nitric oxide is the another example, and in this also you have to discuss the molecular orbital energy level diagram, and with the help of this again you have to count the total number of bond present in the nitrogen oxide, or the you may consider nitrogen monoxide. So here the nitrogen monoxide, which contain the nitrogen and the oxygen as a element. So here you have to count the electronic configuration of the nitrogen and the electronic configuration for the oxygen one. Okay. So here the nitrogen have the 7 atomic number and the oxygen have the 8 atomic number. So determine the electronic configuration for nitrogen and electronic configuration for the oxygen also. So 7 atomic number for the nitrogen have the 1s2, 2s2, 2p3 is the electronic configuration for the nitrogen, and oxygen have the 1s2, 2s2, 2p4 is the electronic configuration for the oxygen one. And so
from this you have to determine the molecular orbital energy level diagram for the nitrogen monoxide one. So here also one thing remember that this nitrogen oxide monoxide is the heteronuclear molecule one, and so the energy level diagram is not symmetrical, it have unsymmetry one. It is not a symmetrical, its energy is different due to the difference in the electronegativity. So for the oxygen and for the nitrogen you put the separate atomic orbital. So you have the 1s 2s 2p is the atomic orbital for oxygen, and also 1s 2s 2p is the atomic orbital for the nitrogen one. So one side you have to put up the oxygen electron, one side you have to put up the nitrogen electron. So nitrogen have total number of 7 electron and oxygen have total number of 8 electron. So total number when you count the 7 plus 8, it will become the 15 one. The total number of electron you have for this nitrogen monoxide is the 15, and you have to fill up this total number of 15 electron in this molecular orbital energy level diagram one. Okay, so here you can fill this electron in the molecular orbital energy level diagram. So two electron goes to the sigma 1s orbital, two electron goes to the sigma star 1s antibonding molecular orbital, two electron goes to the sigma 2s bonding molecular orbital, two electron goes to the sigma star 2s antibonding molecular orbital, two electron goes to the sigma 2px bonding molecular orbital, pi 2py and pi 2pz bonding molecular orbital, and one remaining electron goes to the higher energetic antibonding molecular orbital, that is in the pi star 2py, pi star 2py. So you have the total number of 15 electron, and you have to fill this electron in this way by using the same rule one. So you have the number of electron present in the bonding molecular orbital and total number in the antibonding molecular orbital. So you have to job to determine the bond order. So what is the bond order? So bond order is nothing but it is the total number of bonding electron minus total number of the antibonding electron. So total number of bonding electron are here, that is the 10, and the total number of the antibonding electron you can count the two electron from the sigma star 1s, two electron from sigma star 2s, and one electron is come from the pi star 2py. So in this way you have the total number of 5 antibonding electrons are there. So you can count that 5 and you have to determine the bond order. So you have the 10 minus 5, it will become 5. So 5 divided by 2, it will become the 2.5. So 2.5 is the fraction number. So fraction number, it is nothing say that there is a 2.5 bonds are there. You cannot see that. So here the two bonds are completely to complete one, and one is there or one half is there. That means the not complete three bonds are there and not complete two bonds are there. There is in between, one bond is in between the uh, in between the bond one. So you can say the 2.5 indicate that there is a third bond is have some half-like nature. It is not perfect bond one. So you can say there is a free electron like nature here on the nitrogen and on the oxygen one. So in this way, the you can say the molecule or heteronuclear molecule is exist in nature and have the 2.5 bond order. So it is a positive value, and that positive value indicate as carbon monoxide, sorry, nitrogen monoxide is exist in nature. It is exist in nature and have the 2.5 as a bond order. Again, you have to check up whether it is a paramagnetic or the diamagnetic one. So you observe that in antibonding orbital you have the single electron, and that single electron indicate that this nitrogen monoxide molecule behaves like the paramagnetic one. So because of the unpaired electron is present in its valence shell, and so it is the paramagnetic in nature. So in this way, you have to determine the bond order whether your molecule is exist in nature or whether it's in paramagnetic or diamagnetic in nature. So all this information you will get by determining the molecular orbital energy level diagram one. So you have to consider the next point, and that is the bond energy or the bond strength one. Bond energy or the bond strength. How the bonds are there and what is its energy one. So आवाज येतोय का माझा? आवाज येतोय ना?
हो येतो सर.
हो सर.
Okay. So let I only check the whether sound is on or not. So let me see the next point, and that is bond energy or the bond strength one. Bond energy कशाला म्हणायचं किंवा bond strength कशाला म्हणायचं. So here the minimum energy required to break the bond present in molecule is called as the bond energy. Bond energy कशाला म्हणायचं की कमीत कमी जेवढी एनर्जी लागते बॉन्ड ब्रेक करण्यासाठी त्याला म्हणायचं इट्स बॉन्ड एनर्जी. सो मिनिमम एनर्जी रिक्वायर्ड टू ब्रेक दी बॉन्ड प्रेझेंट इन मॉलिक्यूल. मॉलिक्यूल मध्ये असलेला जो बॉन्ड आहे तो बॉन्ड ब्रेक करण्यासाठी जेवढी एनर्जी लागते तेवढी एनर्जी म्हणजे त्या बॉन्डची ती एनर्जी असते किंवा त्याला बॉन्ड स्ट्रेंथ आहे म्हणतात. सो मिनिमम एनर्जी रिक्वायर्ड टू ब्रेक दी बॉन्ड इन मॉलिक्यूल आर कॉल्ड एज दी bond energy. So this theory is depend on various factors. So this bond energy or bond strength have some factor, and with the help of that factor, whether your bond is a stronger bond one or whether your bond is the weaker bond one, so that thing you have to explain with the help of the some statement one. So how they are, you have to see by some statement. So here very first statement is that the extent of overlapping, how the overlapping is there in molecule or the in bond formation. You know, when bond will get formed, so there is a overlapping. What kind of overlappings are there, and that overlapping causes whether your or it will say whether your bond is stronger or the weaker bond one. So here the greater the extent of overlapping, greater will be the bond strength one. म्हणजे जेवढी जास्त ओव्हरलॅपिंग असेल, ओव्हरलॅपिंग जेवढी स्ट्रॉंगर असेल किंवा आपण त्याला एक्सेल ओव्हरलॅपिंग असेल किंवा प्रॉपर ओव्हरलॅपिंग और ग्रेटर और मॅक्सिमम ओव्हरलॅपिंग. सो ग्रेटर द एक्सटेंट ऑफ ओव्हरलॅपिंग ग्रेटर विल बी द बॉन्ड स्ट्रेंथ. जेवढं जास्त ओव्हरलॅपिंग होईल, स्ट्रॉंग ओव्हरलॅपिंग होईल किंवा प्रॉपर ओव्हरलॅपिंग होईल तेवढा तो बॉन्ड अतिशय स्ट्रॉंग बनत जातो. सो यू ऑल नो इन सिग्मा बॉन्डिंग फॉर एक्झाम्पल, सिग्मा बॉन्डिंग मध्ये कसं असतं, इट इज अ proper overlapping or it is a greater or it is a axial overlapping, and due to that the that sigma bond is a very stronger one. So this is the way you can say that the extent of overlapping is very much important in formation of the bond one. So greater the overlapping or greater the extent of overlapping, greater will be the bond strength one. Okay. So next is the types of hybridization. So what kind of hybridization will be there, that also determine the bond strength one. So the hybrid orbital which contain more percentage of S character, such a bond is the stronger bond. म्हणजे काय की एखादा हायब्रिड ऑर्बिटल आहे and in that if your hybridization contain the more percentage of S orbital or S character, in such a case the bond is the stronger one, and hence such a bond require more energy. It require the more energy to break such a bond. So the percentage of S character in sp bond, sp hybridization आपण पाहिलेले. So sp hybridization means the when the one s orbital and when one p orbital is involved in the hybridization, then such hybridization you can say it is a sp hybridization. So in that sp orbital, the percentage of s character is a 50%. Why 50%? Because one s and one p orbital are involved in determination of sp hybridization, and so that in that hybridization the S character is the 50% and P character is the 50%. And so in SP hybridization, there is a 50% of the S character is there, and so that you can see it is the strongest hybridization because the S character in such bond is the very higher one. Suppose you take the sp2 hybridization. So in that sp2 hybridization, only 33.3% S character is there. In sp2 hybridization, only 33.3 S character is there only, and so that it have the less S percentage, S orbital percentage is less in case of sp2 hybridization, so that sp2 hybridized bond is somewhat weaker than the sp hybridization. In another case also, the sp3 hybridization. In sp3 hybridization, what is the situation? Only 25% of the S character is there, only 25%, and so that it is also again weaker bond than the sp2 and the sp hybridized bond. And so so that the types of the hybridization matters the strength of the bond or the energy of the bond one. And so therefore the bond formed by the sp overlapping is always more stronger than any other overlapping. म्हणजे एसपी ओव्हरलॅपिंगने जो बॉन्ड तयार झालेला आहे तो बॉन्ड नेहमीच स्ट्रॉंगर असतो सगळ्या ओव्हरलॅपिंग पेक्षा. हे नेहमी लक्षात ठेवायचं. त्याचं कारण असं आहे की एसपी हायब्रिडायझेशन मध्ये 50% एस कॅरेक्टर असते, sp2 मध्ये फक्त 33.3% एस कॅरेक्टर असते आणि sp3 मध्ये फक्त 25% एस कॅरेक्टर असते. आणि त्यामुळं एसपी हायब्रिडायझेशनने जो बॉन्ड तयार झालेला आहे that bond are always stronger than any other overlapping bond. So that order you can say that is the sp is always stronger than the sp2, and which is still stronger than sp3 hybridized bond one. So that sequence you have to always remember, that the sp is greater than sp2 and still sp2 is greater than sp3. So in this way, types of hybridization determine the strength of the bond or the bond energy. Third factor is that the resonance energy. So resonance energy also decide the strength of the bond, how the bond are the strong or the whether they are weaker ones. So that thing also explained with the help of the this resonance energy. So more the resonance energy, more will be the stability of the bond, and hence more energy is required to break such a bond. म्हणजे जेवढा रेझोनन्स जास्त असेल बॉन्डिंग सिस्टीम मध्ये किंवा मॉलिक्यूल मध्ये, तेवढा तो बॉन्ड हा स्टेबल असतोय. Because they have the resonance, because there is some delocalization is there in resonance system. So more the resonance, more energy will be required or to break such a bond, because it is have some extra stability. So more in resonance energy, more will be the stability of the bond, and hence more energy will require to break the such bond. And so the resonance energy is also the one factor to determine the strength of bond. Fourth factor is there, the type of bonding. What type of the bonding is there? So you all know there are the two kinds of bonding are there, that is sigma bonding and the pi bonding one. So sigma bonds are always stronger than the pi bond, so more energy will require to break the sigma bond than the pi bond. Because you all know the sigma bond are always stronger. What is the reason? That it have the axial overlapping and pi bond have the sidewise overlapping. So the sigma bond are always stronger than the pi bond, and so hence this to break this such a sigma bond require more energy than the pi bond one. Another factor is that the size of the atom. So the bond length depend on the size of the atom. Any bond length in a molecule are always depend on the size of the atom. So if the size of the atom increases, bond length will get increases, and once bond length will get increases, the bond strength will get decreases. आपल्याला माहिती की जेवढा ॲटम हा साईजनं मोठा असेल, तेवढी त्याची बॉन्ड लेंथ ही वाढत जाते किंवा मोठी होते किंवा लेंथ increase होते बा. So if the size of atom is higher, then bond length will get higher. So any system which have high length have the less strength. आपल्याला माहिती की लांब बॉन्ड असेल किंवा त्याचं अंतर जास्त असेल तर तो बॉन्ड कसा असतो, विकर असतो. जेवढी साईज जास्त असेल तेवढं बॉन्ड लेंथ ही इन्क्रीज होत जाते आणि त्यामुळे मग बॉन्ड स्ट्रेंथ ही नेहमी डिक्रीज होते. त्याचं आपलं उदाहरण देता येईल की आपण एखादी स्टिक घेतली, काठी घेतली, तर काय होतं की असं अंतराने लांब काठी जर असेल जास्त अंतराची, ती लवकर ब्रेक करता येते. परंतु त्याच साईजची जर कमी अंतराची असेल, लहान असेल, तिला सहजासहजी आपल्याला ब्रेक करता येत नाही, बिकॉज we have the less length. So if you have the large length, then you can break that stick or that bond very easily one. And so the size is matter in determination of strength of the bond one. So size, if the atom have higher size, then length will become increase, and if the length increase, the bond strength will get decreases. Okay, so very last statement is that bond polarity. So bond polarity, that factor actually takes place in the heteronuclear molecule, particularly the in a heteronuclear molecule. So here, if the percentage of ionic character increases, the polarity of molecule will get increases, and hence the bond energy also get increases. Okay, so if the percentage of ionic character of the polarity of the molecule will get increases, and the bond energy will get also increases. So the electronegativity of the halogen will get decreases from the fluorine to the iodine, and hence the polarity and bond strength also will get decreases in the order from the HF molecule to the HI molecule. So here you all know percentage of ionic character will be higher in case of the heteronuclear molecule. So here, if the percentage of ionic character increases, then polarity of molecule will get increased. Why polarity will get increases? Because there is a difference in electronegativity, and difference in electronegativity means that their bonded pair of electron are not equally shear, and they are more concentrated towards the more electronegative element, and hence your molecule will get polar. And due to that polarity, percentage of ionic character will get increases, and hence bond energy also get increases. So the electronegativity of halogen will get decreases from the fluorine to iodine when you consider the HF molecule, HCl molecule, HBr molecule, and the HI molecule. So polarity will get decreases from the hydrogen to the iodine one, and hence the bond strength also will get decreases in the order. So from this order, you can say that HF molecule is very much stronger than the HCl, which is again stronger than the HBr, and again which is stronger than the HI molecule. So in this way, all these factor you can consider for determination of the bond strength or the बॉन्ड एनर्जी. ज्या ज्यावेळी तुम्हाला बॉन्ड एनर्जी डिटरमाइन करायची असेल किंवा बॉन्ड स्ट्रेंथ डिटरमाइन करायची असेल, त्यावेळी तुम्हाला हे सर्वच्या सर्व फॅक्टर कन्सिडर करावे लागतात. कोणते कोणते ते फॅक्टर आहेत? दॅट आर दी extent of overlapping, types of the hybridization, resonance energy, types of bonding, then size of atom, bond polarity. So all these information you have to collect, and after that you have to consider the bond strength. Bond strength जेव्हा डिटरमाइन करायचं असेल त्यावेळी तुम्हाला ह्या 4-5-6 फॅक्टरची इन्फॉर्मेशन नोन असणं गरजेचं आहे. In this way, by using this, you can determine the bond strength or bond polarity one. Okay. So next point is the dipole moment. How the dipole moment is there. समजले का? समजते का? आवाज येतोय का माझा?
हो, आवाज येतोय.
ओके ओके, समजते का हे?
हो सर.
बॉन्ड एनर्जी समजली का तुम्हाला? ओके ओके. So let me
हो.
see the next, that is the dipole moment. How the dipole moments are there, and what information you will get from this dipole moment. Okay. So here the degree of polarity of the polar molecule is expressed in terms of the dipole moment. Dipole moment म्हणजे काय? It is the degree of polarity of polar molecule. जेवढे जेवढे polar molecule आहे त्या polar molecule ची polarity, that is degree of polarity, will get expressed in terms of the dipole moment, which is equal to the product of the charge and the distance between them. So it have the formula, that is dipole moment is equal to the mu is equal to E into small e into d. So small e is the charge on the atom and d is the distance between them. That means you can see it is the bond length one. Okay, so E is the charge on the atom and d is the bond length or the distance between them. So by taking that multiplication charge into the bond length, you will get the value as a mu. So mu is the nothing but it is the dipole moment. So that dipole moment is equal to mu is equal to E into d1. So generally the polar molecule is formed between the atom of two different radii. पोलर मॉलिक्यूल कधी तयार होतो किंवा पोलर बॉन्ड केव्हा तयार होतो? जनरली ज्या वेळी दोन ॲटम हे डिफरंट रेडियसचे दोन ॲटम एकमेकाला जोडले जातील थ्रू बॉन्ड. So here the polar bond are formed between the two atom of the two different radii, means the two different atom. कारण डिफरंट रेडियाई म्हणजे काय? दोन डिफरंट ॲटम असतील तर, आणि मग त्यावेळी जो बॉन्ड तयार होईल दॅट बॉन्ड generally it is a polar bond one. So here and two different electronegativity also. So you can always consider that if the two different atoms are there, then they always have different electronegativity. So the greater the value of dipole moment, greater will be the polarity of the molecule. जेवढी व्हॅल्यू जास्त असेल dipole moment ची तेवढा तो molecule जास्त polar असेल. So maximum greater the value of dipole moment, greater will be the polarity of the molecule one. So here the percentage of ionic character of the polar bond depend on the electronegativity difference. जेवढा electronegativity difference जास्त असेल तेवढी तिची dipole moment जास्त येईल आणि तेवढा तो molecule जास्त polar असेल. So percentage of ionic character for the polar molecule or polar bond are always depend on the electronegativity difference. That is, the greater the electronegativity difference, greater will be the percentage of ionic character. So with the help of this dipole moment, the percentage of ionic character can be calculated, and that have the one formula. So what is that formula? That is, percentage of ionic character is equal to the observed dipole moment divided by the dipole moment for 100% ionic bond multiplied by the 100. हा एक फॉर्म्युला दिलेला आहे पहा. काय तो फॉर्म्युला? पर्सेंटेज ऑफ आयोनिक कॅरेक्टर एखाद्या बॉन्डचा तुम्हाला डिटरमाइन करायचा असेल, सो दॅट यू हॅव टू डिटरमाइन द ऑब्झर्व डायपोल मोमेंट डिवायडेड बाय द डायपोल मोमेंट फॉर द 100% आयोनिक बॉन्ड. जे 100% आयोनिक बॉन्ड आहेत, 100% आयोनिक बॉन्डची डायपोल मोमेंट डिटरमाइन करायची किंवा ती नोन असते, इट इज अ नोन व्हॅल्यू, and multiply by the 100. So that formula is there, and by that formula you can determine the percentage of ionic character in a bond one. So for 100% ionic bond, the dipole moment value is given. So that is the 6.12 d. D indicate the dBA. It is the unit for determination of the dipole moment. It is known as the dBA one. So D indicate the dBA. So 6.12 is the dBA value for the dipole moment of the 100% ionic bond one. 100% ionic bond ची dipole moment value ही दिलेली आहे. It is a known one, that is 6.12 dBA one. So put that 6.12 dBA value in your formula. So from that you will get the percentage of ionic character. So here percentage of ionic character is equal to observed dipole moment divided by 6.12 into the 100 one. So that value you will get. So observed dipole moment divided by 6.12 into 100, whatever value you will become, that is the percentage of ionic character for the that particular bond one. So the percentage of ionic character can be calculated by the electronegativity. Electronegativity वरनं काय होईल आपल्याला percentage of ionic character determine करता येईल. So how it will be? So the ionic character of any covalent bond is depend on electronegativity difference between them. कोणत्याही कोव्हॅलेंट बॉन्डचा आयोनिक कॅरेक्टर कशावर डिपेंड असते? इट विल डिपेंड अपॉन दी electronegativity difference between them. Suppose if we have the AB is any molecule, capital A and capital B is the any molecule with chi of A and chi of B be the electronegativity, then by Pauling is the name of scientist which gives this formulation for determination of the ionic character in ionic bond one. So here chi of A and chi of B, these are the two electronegativities of the two atom, that is AB. Suppose you have AB molecule. So if the electronegativity difference chi of A minus chi of B is equal to the 1.7 electronegativity difference, that is chi of A minus chi of B, it will become 1.7, then bond will be 50% ionic in nature. Bond will be the 50% ionic nature when the electronegativity difference chi of A minus chi of B, it will be 1.7. In that case, your bond is a 50% ionic in nature. And if the difference of electronegativity is more than 1.7, then bond will be more ionic. And if it is less than 1.7, then bond will be less covalent in nature. So by taking only the electronegativity difference, you will get the information whether your bond is the more ionic in nature or whether your bond is the more covalent in nature. Suppose you have the electronegativity difference is the 1.7, then you have to say that your bond is 50% ionic in nature. And if your electronegativity difference is more than 1.7, then you have to say that your bond is more ionic in nature. And if it is less than 1.7, then your bond will be more covalent in nature, not in ionic in nature. It is you have more covalent nature. So in this way, the dipole moment you have to determine, and you have to determine the ionic character in a covalent bond also. Okay. So here the electronegativity definition is given that the electronegativity of an element is nothing but it is only the tendency of atom to attract the bonded pair of electron towards itself. इलेक्ट्रोनेगेटिव्हिटी म्हणजे काय? इट इज नथिंग, इट इज अ नॅचरल टेंडन्सी. त्या ऍटमची ही नॅचरल टेंडन्सी असते पहा. सो व्हॉट इज दॅट नॅचरल टेंडन्सी? इट इज ओनली दी टेंडन्सी ऑफ एनी एलिमेंट और एटम टू अट्रॅक्ट दी बॉन्डेड पेअर ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन टुवर्ड्स इट्स बॉन्डेड पेअर ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन स्वतःकडे ओढण्याची जी काही क्षमता असते किंवा नॅचरल टेंडन्सी असते त्या ऍटमची, that natural tendency are known as the electronegativity. So by taking the electronegativity of the both atom, you can count the whatever value is there by taking only difference. And if that value become 1.7, then your bond will be 50% ionic. If it have the higher value than 1.7, then your bond is the more ionic in nature. And if it will have the less 1.7, then your bond is more covalent in nature. So in this way, you can explain the dipole moment value. Okay. So I think with this, today we have to stop here. If you have any query, then you can ask. काही प्रश्न असतील तर विचारा. का? यानंतर तुमचा खेडकर मॅडम यांचा लेक्चर असेल बॉटनीचं आणि फिजिक्स किंवा मॅथचं असेल. काही अडचण आहे का? विचारा, नसेल तर थांबू इथं. रिया पाटील, नवरे, सुजित.
सर अडचण समजलंय सगळं.
हा,
समजलंय सर.
ओके ओके. मी लेक्चर रेकॉर्ड केलेला आहे, तर नंतर तुम्ही ऐकू शकता. याच्यामध्ये स्टडी मटेरियल शेवटचं ऑप्शन आहे पहा, तुम्ही ऍप मध्ये गेले ना तर त्यामध्ये